everyone, today I'll be talking about the manga I've purchased and read over the last 2 months. I'm excited about this haul because it's the first time in a while that I've bought newly released or newly licensed manga. I know that's something special, but it's fun for me. I've just been in the mood to read new things, but besides the newly released manga, I also have a bunch of volume 1s, and a few of these series have definitely given me some inspiration for collecting again. Without further ado, let's get started. Up first, and not exactly a new series, I have the French Collector's Edition of Volume 7 of My Hero Academia. I got this because it features an alternate cover. If you read and collect My Hero Academia, you've probably already seen the Volume 7 cover with Bakugo on it. Now, you might be wondering why I got a French edition of a manga. Well, the deciding factor was price. The Japanese version of this cover comes with a drama CD, but it also costs about twice as much. The French edition comes with 2 buttons, and since I collect buttons and pins, it made more sense for me to have this one. Let me just say though, this looks really nice and makes me wish our English manga also had dust covers. Next, I have books 4 and 9 of Princess Jellyfish. I'm probably going to say this over and over again, but Princess Jellyfish is such a delightful series and I want more people to read it. I think it promotes so many lovely things like self-confidence, loving your hobbies, friendship and sisterhood, and even following your dreams. The reason why I have 4 and 9 is that 4 is actually the next volume I needed sequentially, but I've had 9 pre-ordered for months because I anticipated catching up to the series by now. I actually planned on canceling my pre-order for it, but I forgot to do so I just wound up with it. But no harm done. Book 9 actually comes with a few bonus features, and I actually made a separate video about it in case you're interested. While this next series isn't new to me, this edition certainly is. I have Volume 1 of the new Full Metal edition of Full Metal Alchemist. I'm personally a big fan of the Brotherhood anime, and I knew I wanted to own the manga in some form. I think by now everyone has talked about this, so I probably don't have to say too much about it. This hardcover is truly beautiful though. The art is sharper, and even the lettering looks nicer. There are going to be 18 books in total, so waiting for them might be hard, but I think this edition is definitely worth it, especially if you can buy them on sale too. Up next, I have the Loot Crate variant of Black Clover Volume 1. I know, why? I've actually been enjoying the Black Clover series. I started with the anime, but at some points the animation got a little weird looking for me, so I switched over to the manga. If you haven't heard of Black Clover by now, it's mainly about this boy named Asta who wants to become the Wizard King, who's essentially the magical leader of their kingdom. It has a lot of the makings of a typical shonen, like a hardworking protagonist, a cool and silent rival, power-ups, and more, but I think it still fills my shonen craving. I'm not really expecting greatness or anything. I actually wasn't in a particular rush to buy this, but you can buy most Loot Crate manga from their website and at a pretty cheap price. The manga has a much quicker pacing than the anime, and at first I thought it would be too fast, but it actually works. It's almost a completely different experience, and I'll probably end up picking up more volumes slowly. Also from the Loot Vault, next I have Volume 1 of Yowamushi Pedal. I mainly bought this because I have a friend who is obsessed with this series. The main character, Onoda, is a geeky kid who's into things like anime and figures, and he periodically makes a long bike trip to Akihabara so he can buy merch on the release date. Because of his skill with cycling, he catches the eye of a serious cyclist who wants to challenge him to a race. To be honest, I enjoyed this volume because I thought Onoda was an interesting protagonist, but that's pretty much it. I personally don't think the rival character is that compelling just yet, so everything about him in this volume was a bore to read. But because my friend loves this so much, I'll probably try reading more eventually. Next, I have a manga I've been looking forward to reading for a long time now, Volume 1 of A Bride's Story. This is one of those manga I've heard people talking about for months, and when I read the premise, it sounded like something I might be interested in. It centers around a woman named Amir who has recently married a boy a few years younger than her. And so far, it's essentially about her daily life as a woman and a bride in her new family. In this volume, you can see that she's a bit different from the people in her new family. She's still very welcomed, and it's nice seeing her interact with and teach new things to the people around her. I think what drew me into it is the historical aspect of it. I personally love history, and it's interesting seeing what this culture values. I already had good feelings about it before starting it, but this manga still managed to exceed my expectations. The art is beautiful, and a lot of care went into these characters and their relationship. It's so good that I've already ordered more volumes and I'm excited to keep reading. Next, I have another wonderful manga, and coincidentally another bridal one, The Bride Was a Boy. This story is so sweet and so endearing. It's an autobiographical manga about a woman named Chi and her journey in transitioning, as well as the story of her marriage. I loved how quick of a read it was, but more importantly, I love that this manga takes the time to educate readers. So not only are we learning more about her life, but we're also being equipped to have conversations about things like gender dysphoria in the future. I did make a separate video about this manga in case you want to learn more about it. Going forward, I'll definitely look for other autobiographical manga to read. Also by Higashimura, I have Volume 1 of Tokyo Tarareba Girls. This was previously a digital first manga from Kodansha, but since I don't typically buy a lot of digital manga, I'm super excited to have a physical copy of it. Another delightful series. This is about a group of women in their 30s who are a bit unsatisfied with their lives. For the main character, things aren't going well for her in terms of romance or her career, and she's not coping with it well. But she wants to change that in time for the 2020 Olympics. I thought this first volume was pretty funny, and if you're a fan of the humor and the style of writing in Princess Jellyfish, you'll probably enjoy this. Otherwise, if you've ever felt caught up in a world of what-ifs, you might relate to the struggles of the characters as well. I think it's cool that the series is coming out physically now, and we'll get to finish it a few months before the actual 2020 Olympics. The timing for it is just pretty nice. Next, I have Volume 1 of Again. Now, this is another series that people have been hyping me up for months now. Again starts off with Imamura, who's about to graduate from high school with no friends, no lasting memories, and it seems like he was misunderstood his entire time there. But because of a freak accident, he now has an opportunity to redo high school, and he wants to use this chance to revive a club that piqued his interest many years ago. When I read this premise, and when I heard what people were saying about it, I thought this manga was going to be the greatest thing I ever read, like a solid 10 out of 10. And honestly, it was fine. I didn't love it as much as I thought I would, but it wasn't bad. The main issue I have with it is some drama in the plot with another club, but I think it's pretty much resolved in this volume anyway. I'll probably buy more volumes of it in the future, but it's not as high of a priority as I thought it would be. I'm still looking forward to seeing how Imamura changes though, and I like this manga's emphasis on changing yourself for the better. Next, I have Clawdeen. If you're not familiar with the name, Ikeda is one of the manga artists who basically transforms shoujo. She's probably most known for the Rose of Versailles, but in general she's known for exploring gender identity and sexuality in her work, which is no surprise given the themes in Clawdeen. Clawdeen is introduced to us by his doctor, who he and his mother visited as a child in order to fix him. And I think that gives you a taste of what's in store. This is by no means a happy story. The manga is a look through Clawdeen's life, of him trying to understand himself and trying to find love. Things aren't easy for him though, and I think my main issue with this manga is that because it's so short, there's a lot of telling rather than showing of the struggle he's going through. And I feel like because of that, it left something to be desired, but maybe a second reading of that will change things for me. That aside, I'm glad I can finally own an Ikeda work. Her art alone is worth it, and I hope we can see more in the future. Up next, I have 2 volumes of Reborn, and yes, Reborn is still on my mind. If you've never heard of the series, it's a shonen manga about a meek and hopeless boy named Suna who finds out he's the heir of a mafia family. Reborn is the name of a famous mafia member who becomes Suna's tutor to prepare him for his new life, even though Suna's pretty reluctant about the whole thing. I've loved the series for a while now, so I picked up these volumes as more of a collecting purpose, but eventually I do want to pick up the whole set in Japanese, but I'm in no rush for that. And last, but certainly not least, I have yet another manga magazine. I pretty much only got this because I wanted to read the new Noragami chapter as fast as I could. Now that I've done that, I'm seriously considering just cutting the cover off and keeping that, but I also don't want to murder a magazine just for that purpose. For now, I'll keep it. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm personally looking forward to collecting new titles in the future, and hopefully making manga a priority again. I'll also try to film monthly hauls again too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.